And the pictures are going to be up there so you can follow along with me, okay? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, a little girl named Grace lived with her parents in a house on top of a hill. Lots of purple and pink flowers surrounded the house. One day, Grace was playing outside as her mother cleaned the front yard. Sweetheart, listen to me carefully. Please stay where I can see you and don't go into the woods. Do you understand? Grace's mother told her. Yes, Mommy, I understand, Grace replied. While picking flowers and running about, Grace spotted a big, beautiful white flower. That's not so far away, Grace thought, as she turned to look back at her mother. I will still be able to see Mommy from there. So she ran over and picked the white flower. Just as she was about to go back to the garden, she saw an even bigger red flower off in the distance. Looking back at Mother again, Grace said, that's still not so far away. I can still see Mommy. So she skipped a little further away and picked the red flower. As Grace was getting ready to go back to her mother to show her the lovely basket of white and red flowers, she saw a rainbow-colored flower. I have never seen a rainbow flower, Grace said to herself. My Mommy would love that one. And it's not too far away. I'll be really fast. She quickly ran to pick the rainbow-colored flower, but when she turned around, she could not see her mother at all. Oh no, Grace cried. Mommy, Mommy, where are you? Grace turned around and around in a circle. She looked to the left and then to the right, but she could not see her mother anywhere. Oh, what will I do? Grace said as she continued to cry. While she sat under a tree, a bluebird flew down from the branch above her. Why are you crying, little girl? Asked Mr. Bluebird. I'm lost. I can't find my Mommy anywhere, Grace cried. What does your house look like? Mr. Bluebird asked. It's a large white house on top of a hill, and it has purple and pink flowers all around it, Grace told him. Okay, little girl, I will fly and try to find your home, but you must stay here until I get back to help you get home. Do you understand? Mr. Bluebird asked. Oh, thank you. Yes, I understand. I will wait for you here by the tree. Mr. Bluebird flew up into the sky. He searched far and wide for the little girl's home. And when he came back, Grace was nowhere to be found. Little girl, I have found your home. Where are you? He called for her, but she was not there. Oh no, she did not listen to me. Now she is even more lost. Shaking his head, Mr. Bluebird hopped into his nest for the night. Because Mr. Bluebird took so long to come back, Grace thought she could find her way home by herself. So she walked and walked, but she wandered even farther away from home. Oh no, I'm so scared. I will never see my Mommy again, Grace cried. But then she saw a red fox. Mr. Red Fox, can you help me, please? I am lost and cannot find my way home. She told him, hush now, do not cry. I will help you. What does your home smell like? Mr. Red Fox asked. It smells like chocolate chip cookies. My Mommy always makes me chocolate chip cookies. I miss my Mommy and Daddy so much, Grace said. All right, little girl, I will use my nose to find your way home. But you must stay here by my burrow and wait for me. Do you understand? Asked Mr. Red Fox. Oh, thank you. I understand. I will wait for you here, Grace shouted while jumping joyfully. Mr. Red Fox ran off into the woods, sniffing the ground as he went. Finally, he found the little girl's house. He followed the scent of chocolate chip cookies to the window, and saw Grace's mother and father sitting at the table. Her mother was crying, and her father looked very sad. "I must hurry back to the little girl," Mr. Red Fox said to himself. "Her parents are so worried about her." He ran as fast as he could back to the burrow, but Grace was nowhere to be found. "Oh no, she did not listen to me," Mr. Red Fox said as he shook his head and looked out into the darkening forest. "Now she is even more lost." Feeling sad, Mr. Red Fox climbed into his burrow for the night. Farther away, Grace walked and walked until she was tired. The flowers she had picked had all lost their petals. Her shirt was dirty, her jeans had a hole, and her feet hurt. So she sat down under a large tree and began to cry. "Someone help me! Please help me get home," she cried loudly. Who is crying so loudly by my tree?" said a voice high above her. "It is me down here," Grace said. "Mother Owl, I am so lost." "And how did you get lost?" Mother Owl asked. Grace stopped crying and began to think. "My mother was planting new flowers in our garden. She told me that I could play, but not go into the woods. I went to pick a pretty flower, and then another, and another. When I looked up, I could not see my home or my mother anywhere. Then Mr. Bluebird found me, and he tried to help me, but I did not listen to him. Mr. Red Fox found me and tried to help me too, but I did not listen to him either. I did not listen when they all told me to stay put. Will you help me, Mother Owl? I promise to listen this time. I just want to go home," Grace begged, crying harder. Hoo. Hush now, child. I will help you get home safely, but you must stay here until I return for you. It is important that you listen. It is very dangerous to be so far into the woods all alone. Do you understand, little girl? Mother Owl asked. Yes. I promise to stay right here by your tree until you come back for me. I promise, Mother Owl, I promise, Grace said as she sat down under the tree. Mother Owl flew away to find Mr. Bluebird and Mr. Red Fox. She flew and flew, looking all over for them. Finally, she saw Mr. Bluebird resting in his nest. Hoo. Wake up, Mr. Bluebird. I have found the little girl and we must get her home. Together, they flew off to find Mr. Red Fox. They landed on the tree next to his burrow where Mr. Red Fox lived with his family. Hoo. Wake up, Mr. Red Fox. I have found the little girl and we must get her home. Why should I help her? She didn't listen to me when I tried to help. I want to go back to sleep, Mother Owl, Mr. Red Fox told her. What if it was your baby fox that was lost? Wouldn't you want someone to help you get home to you? Mother Owl softly responded. Mr. Red Fox looked down at his burrow and thought about his babies sleeping soundly in their beds. You are right, Mother Owl. I will help you get the little girl home safely. Together, Mother Owl, Mr. Bluebird, and Mr. Red Fox returned to find Grace sound asleep under the tree. Hoo. Wake up, little girl. It is time to go home now. Mr. Bluebird and Mr. Red Fox are here to help you, Mother Owl softly said as she lightly brushed her wing across Grace's tear-stained cheek. Thank you, Mother Owl. Thank you, Mr. Bluebird. Thank you, Mr. Red Fox. I am sorry I did not listen to you when you tried to help me. I am sorry I did not listen to my mommy. I will do better now. Together, the four of them started walking through the forest. Soon, Grace saw the purple and pink flowers that surrounded her home. She began to smell the chocolate chip cookies her mother had made. I'm home, Grace shouted as she ran up the hill. Grace's parents threw open the door, and when they saw their daughter, they ran down the hill towards her. Sweetheart, her mother cried out. Grace, her father said. Mommy, Daddy, I was so scared. I'm sorry I did not listen to you. I'm sorry I did not stay in the garden where you could see me. I am so sorry. Grace cried as she hugged her parents tightly. Grace's parents thanked Mr. Bluebird, Mr. Red Fox, and Mother Owl for helping their precious daughter make it home safely. Grace's mother and father took her into the house to get all cleaned up. Her parents gave her a giant plate of chocolate chip cookies and a glass of milk. They were very disappointed she had not been obedient, but so very glad to have her home safe. When it was time for bed, her father kissed her goodnight and tucked her in. Her mother kissed her and asked what she learned that day. I learned it is important to listen to you and Daddy. I must obey instructions to keep me safe and listen to those who are trying to help me. And I learned it is very important to always stay where you can see me, Grace said before falling fast asleep. The end.